How do you talk about client meetings in English clearly and professionally? In this beginner legal English class, we will cover common meeting vocabulary and preparation verbs. You'll also learn how to use the future tense with going to so you can explain your plans with confidence. This is perfect for lawyers, students, and legal professionals preparing for client conversations in English. Learning English as a beginner can be very difficult. That's why we built a step-by-step course in Skool. Join our Skool group for beginner-friendly lessons, webinars, and a private forum so you can finally speak legal English with confidence. Click on the link in the description. In today's lesson, you will learn important words used in meetings and preparation. You will also learn how to use the phrase going to. This helps you talk about your future plans, like what you will do before a meeting. By the end, you will be able to explain clearly how you prepare for a client meeting. Let's start with some important words. Imagine you have an important meeting with a client tomorrow. How do you get ready? Maybe you check your calendar to see the date and time. You might review some important papers or documents. You could call or message the client to confirm the appointment. Getting ready is very important. It helps you feel confident and professional. Today, we will learn the words and grammar to talk about these steps clearly. Let's start with the word agenda. Imagine you have a meeting with a client and you want to make sure everything important gets talked about. That's where an agenda helps. An agenda is like a list or a plan of all the topics you will discuss during the meeting. For example, a lawyer might send the agenda to the client before the meeting. This way, the client knows what to expect and the meeting stays organized. It's like making a shopping list before going to the store. It keeps you focused and helps you not forget anything. Now, let's talk about appointment. An appointment is a meeting that you plan in advance at a set time. Imagine you have a client next Tuesday at 10 in the morning. That meeting is your appointment. It's very important to be on time for your appointments because it shows you are a professional and respect other people's time. For example, you might say, I have an appointment with the client at 10 a.m. Just like going to a doctor or dentist, appointments in law help keep things organized and clear. Next is the word minutes. Minutes are the notes or written record of what happened during a meeting. Think about when you have a class or workshop and the teacher writes down the important points on the board. In meetings, someone writes the minutes to remember what was discussed, what decisions were made, and what tasks need to be done. For example, after a client meeting, someone might say, I will write the minutes now. This way, everyone remembers the important details and can check what was agreed on. Let's learn about attendee. An attendee is simply a person who goes to a meeting. Imagine a meeting room with 5 people inside. Those 5 people are the attendees. Knowing who will attend helps the organizer plan the meeting better. For example, make sure there are enough chairs and documents for everyone. You might hear someone say, there were 5 attendees at the meeting. So, attendees are the participants, the people who take part in the meeting. Now, the word venue. The venue is the place where the meeting takes place. Imagine you have a meeting tomorrow. Where will it happen? Maybe in a conference room, an office, or even online. The venue tells you the location so you can arrive on time. For example, you might say, the meeting venue is the company's office. Knowing the venue is important so you don't get lost or late. Let's talk about schedule. A schedule is like a plan that shows what happens and when. Imagine you have many things to do, meetings, calls, and tasks. A schedule helps you organize your time so you know when each activity will happen. For example, a lawyer might say, "We have a busy schedule this week." Having a good schedule helps you be on time and prepared for all your meetings. Now, let's look at some preparation verbs. And we'll start with the verb prepare. To prepare means to get ready for something important. Imagine you have a meeting tomorrow and you want to do well. You might prepare by reviewing papers, organizing notes, or practicing what you want to say. For example, you might say, "I prepared documents before the meeting." Good preparation helps you feel confident and make a good impression. Next verb, confirm. To confirm means to check and agree on something, like a date or time. Imagine you are not sure if the meeting is still at 3 p.m. You call or send a message to the client to ask, "Is the meeting still at 3 p.m.?" This is confirming the time. For example, a lawyer might say, "Please confirm the meeting time." Confirming helps avoid mistakes and show you are organized. Review means to look at something again carefully. Imagine you get an agenda before the meeting. You read it the first time, but then you review it again to remember all the topics. For example, I review the agenda before the meeting. Reviewing helps you be ready and avoid surprises. Now the word organize. To organize means to arrange things in the right way. Imagine setting up a meeting room, putting chairs in a circle, making sure there's water, and having the documents ready. For example, she organizes the meeting room. Good organization helps meetings run smoothly. Next verb is call. To call means to use the phone to talk to someone. Before a meeting, you might call the client to check if everything is ready. For example, I call the client to confirm the appointment. Calling is a quick way to communicate and show professionalism. Finally, the verb bring. To bring means to take something with you to a place. For a meeting, you need to bring important documents or notes. For example, please bring all documents to the meeting. Bringing the right things helps the meeting go well. So let's test your vocabulary now. What's the word for the list of topics in a meeting? Here's a short story. It's 9 a.m. in a law firm. Everyone gathers in the conference room. On the table is a printed sheet that outlines each topic they need to cover, who's speaking, when, and what decisions need to be made. This helps the meeting stay organized and on track. That list of topics is called the agenda. Here's your next challenge. What word means checking a document carefully before a meeting? Imagine this. A legal assistant is going over a contract line by line before the client arrives. She spots a typo in a clause and corrects it just in time. This careful process helps avoid mistakes and shows professionalism. That process is called a review. Ready for another? What do you call the people who attend the meeting? Let's picture a law school seminar. The room fills with students and professors, all sitting at the table. They have come to listen, take part, and share ideas. Each person has a name tag and a copy of the meeting materials. These people are called attendees. Try this one. What's the word for double-checking plans before a meeting? Here's a scene. A junior lawyer sends an email the night before a Zoom consultation. She checks the time, confirms the link, and makes sure the client is still available. That small step avoids confusion and shows she's ready. That action is called to confirm. Last one for today. What two actions help a lawyer get ready for a meeting? Here's what happens. A lawyer sits at their desk. First, they highlight key parts of a contract they will discuss. Then, they dial the client to make sure they're on the way and know where the meeting will take place. It's about being prepared and professional. The two actions are prepare the documents and call the client. Now, let's learn the structure of the going to future tense. When we talk about plans or intentions in the future, we use going to with the base form of a verb. Here is the structure. For I, we use am plus going to plus the verb. For example, I am going to prepare the documents. For you, we, and they, we use are plus going to plus the verb. For example, they are going to review the papers. For he, she, and it, we use is plus going to plus the verb. For example, she is going to call the client. Remember, the verb to be changes depending on the subject. I am, you, we, they are, he, she, it is. Then add going to plus the base verb. This structure helps you talk about what you plan or intend to do in the future. Let's practice some now. Let's talk about how to describe future plans using going to. The secret is knowing how to match the subject with the correct form of to be. I am going to, he or she is going to, we, you, or they are going to. Now, let's see it in action with real examples. Imagine a lawyer sitting at her desk, making a list of everything to discuss tomorrow. She's getting ready, planning ahead, so she says, I am going to prepare the agenda. Picture a paralegal checking her notes. She has to follow up with the client to confirm the meeting. She says she is going to call the client tomorrow. Now, think of a legal team working late. They want to check the contract carefully before the deadline. They say, we are going to review the documents tonight. Finally, there's someone in charge of logistics. He arrives early to set up chairs, water, and documents. So we say he is going to organize the meeting room. Each sentence shows someone taking action, planning what comes next, and every one of them uses to be plus going to describe a future plan. Practice using this in your own work life. Now the best part, idioms and phrases. And let's start with a common one. Let's get the ball rolling. This means to begin an activity or a process. In meetings, it is often used to encourage starting the discussion or project. For example, let's get the ball rolling with the client meeting. It's a friendly way to say, let's begin. Next is the phrase, on the same page. This means that everyone understands or agrees about something. In meetings, it's important for all attendees to be on the same page. For example, before we start, let's make sure we're all on the same page. This helps avoid confusion and keeps the meeting focused. Now the idiom touch base. This means to contact someone to share updates or check in. For example, after a meeting, a lawyer might say, I will touch base with the client. It's a quick way to keep communication open and clear. Finally, in a nutshell. This phrase is used when you want to explain something clearly and shortly. For example, in a nutshell, the contract protects both parties. It helps give the main idea quickly without too much detail. Let's do a wrap-up story, preparing for a successful client meeting. Let me tell you a story about Maria, a lawyer preparing for an important client meeting. First, Maria gets the ball rolling by making an appointment with the client. She wants to make sure they are on the same page about the meeting time and place, so she calls the client to confirm the appointment. Next, Maria reviews the agenda carefully, the list of topics they will discuss. She knows good preparation is key, so she is going to prepare all the necessary documents and notes before the meeting. On the day of the meeting, Maria arrives early at the venue, the client's office. She makes sure the room is ready and organized. During the meeting, she takes careful minutes to record what they talk about and any decisions made. After the meeting, Maria plans to touch base with the client again by phone, just to follow up and keep communication clear. In a nutshell, Maria's careful planning and communication help the meeting go smoothly. Using her vocabulary and grammar skills, like the going to future tense, and understanding idioms like get the ball rolling and on the same page, she shows professionalism and builds trust with her client. This is how you can prepare for your own meetings and impress your clients too. Let's review everything we learned today. First, we practiced important meeting vocabulary. Words like agenda, appointment, minutes, and venue that help you talk clearly about meetings. Then we learned preparation verbs like prepare, confirm, and review, useful action words for getting ready for a meeting. We also focused on grammar, especially how to use going to for talking about future plans, like I am going to prepare the documents. Finally, we explored some useful idioms and phrases like get the ball rolling, on the same page, touch base, and in a nutshell to sound more natural and professional. You're building strong skills for professional communication. Great job. Keep practicing and you'll feel confident in your meetings and client interactions. We know that learning legal English as a beginner is difficult. So that's why we created our Skool group for easy lessons, live webinars, and a supportive forum. And this is the way you can start speaking legal English confidently. The link is in the description.